So which way you want to go now?
Let's talk about the nerves. I
All
think
right,
I think
good.
that leads into what we talked about earlier about the music and the beginner and the etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
All that plays into the nerves. So I'm still learning how to control those things. I've the waggle, the whole waggle
The
thing is
whole waggle. There's
the
a lot of
whole
waggle
title.
going
Yeah,
on in
the whole
golf.
a whole lot of waggle to make sure you calm your nerves before you walk into that box there. So I'm still learning how to control, and I'm still trying to come up with a routine, pre-shot routine that works for me.
Who told you to do that? Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You did,
But
you did.
it's funny. It's funny to see a grown man shaking like a leaf on the first tee box. I mean, I've been there. I'm not. I'm not. Please don't hear me say that wasn't me. And I'm still the same way. There's days I'm still the same way. But it's so funny. We created a golf league years ago, Fort City Golf Association, and to get guys in, it's like, hey, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. We're gonna play by the rules. We're gonna do this, and we tweaked a couple of rules. Gimme, no mulligans, little things like that. But you would have guys that would sign up and they'd be like, what do you normally shoot? And they're all of them. Oh, I shoot 80. I shoot 82, somewhere around. I've had a 79 before. And then you get them out for that first tournament, and there's no mulligans, and they've got to tee off, and there's three other guys standing there, and there's a group waiting to go. And that guy, I've seen it time and time again. They dribble three or four off. They hit the first one off the tee, and it goes about 10 yards.
It's embarrassing.
And then they're done at that point. They take a 9 on the first hole, and they are done.
Yeah.
They come in, they've shot 112, and they've broken a couple of clubs, and they never want to play again. And that's all of us. I mean, anytime you've been in that environment, I think you know what I'm talking about. And if any of you guys have been fortunate enough to play in a pro-am, whether it be a junior pro-am, we've had the AJGA down here before and gotten to play with some of those 14, 15-year-old guys. One year I think we got to play with a 14-year-old girl. And it's funny. I mean, you're almost laughing at yourself because you can feel your nerves even playing in a junior event, and then we've had the opportunity to play with the LPGA too, and they got the bleachers up there. You got people in the stands, and thank the Lord there wasn't anybody standing along the fairway. But how do you control nerves? I might not give away what I do, but I can tell you what Tom Watson said. When golfers, professional golfers, they're out walking the golf course, they're not in the golf cart. And maybe we can compare the two, but Tom Watson controls his breathing. I think you've probably heard, and you guys can contact us again about that too if you want to throw some other names out there that have done it. But and you look at Tiger, you look at how he walks the golf course. And Phil Mickelson. There's a deliberate pace to their game. They don't get in a rush. They don't get in a hurry. They don't play too slow. Everything's deliberate. And like Thomas was saying, he's trying to find a routine. And the routine, and I try to tell him, you got to get in a routine so that it calms you down, so that you're focused on your routine and you're not focused in on what's going on.
Right.
And what's going on? Well, either you're sitting there on the first tee and there's guys waiting to go, and they're trying to get done, and if you dribble one off the tee or you throw one in the woods,
Right.
Now they're all like, oh, this guy sucks.
So I played Spring Hill a week ago, and I remember something you told me a long time ago about maybe that hole's 300 yards away, 350 yards away, but just pick a spot maybe 2 or 3 feet in front of you and play in that box. Just focus on that spot right in front of the ball, hit that ball to that spot, line it up with the pin, and go for it. And the intimidation of all that golf course in front of you, all that hole that's in front of you, goes away because you're just playing in that area at that time. And I went back to that, and I had one of the best rounds I've played since I've been
Like
playing.
the cone of silence.
Yeah, so you just.
What is that from? Saturday Night Live?
Is that yeah?
Oh,
That's right.
sorry. Go ahead.
But sometimes, it helps play in that box, play in that little space, control the space, and make sure that you play there and you make full contact through the ball, and you just want to put it at a place, and the ball and the golf club will do the rest. Sometimes you look up and you look, man, that's a long way. It's a par 5, 500 yards away. I'm beginning. How am I going to get this ball there in 5 strokes? You're trying to figure that out. Don't worry about it. Pick a spot in front of the ball and hit the ball, and let the golf club and trust your swing, and hope that everything else does the rest. So going back to some of those small nuances that you learn early while you're picking up the game, go back to that. And Kip probably could even say there's things that he has to go back to from when he started.
Well,
That,
that's what's to me. That's what's fun about and valuable to teaching somebody. I've got two girls. I've taught them how to play, and I've taught other guys from work to play, and I'm teaching Thomas now. Well, as a golfer that's played for several years, you can walk out there, grab a club, and not realize that you grabbed the club incorrectly, and you don't know why you keep hitting it left. You don't know why you can't make a putt. You don't understand why you're not compressing the ball. And over time, you stand with your left foot further out than your right. So you got a closed stance and you're hitting the ball left and you can't figure out what you're doing.
Right.
And then you go, okay, I'm going to teach this guy how to play, and you start off with a grip.
Right.
And you get him to check his grip, and you grab the club and you realize you've got a strong grip, and you're like, ooh, now I know why I've been hitting it left all the last couple of weeks. So, and so there's a bunch of stuff like that. But going back to, you mentioned something about focusing on one shot at a time. That's great that you figured that out, because as an experienced golfer, if you want to start breaking 80, breaking 90, breaking 90, breaking 80, you've got to take it one shot at a time.
Right.
And don't be so focused in on, okay, I didn't hit the ball 350 yards down the fairway. I hit it 260.
Right.
All right, well, that's fine. Take your next shot, and what do I always tell you? Keep it in play.
Keep it. Yeah.
Keep it in play. Keep it on
Course
the fairway.
management. Mm-hmm.
Keep it on the green. Don't
Right.
don't go after the sucker pin.
Right.
If there's a pin on the right side with a bunker guarding that pin, and you've got all this green to work with on the right side, hit it over there to the right side, and take your chances on your putts.
Right. Best way I can describe that too, football guys, kickers in football. It's one of those cases they missed that first kick. Maybe 35 yards out. They got to make that field goal. Your team's relying on you. Miss that kick. So then now everybody.
Our Florida State listeners would understand.
Oh yeah, the left, white left. Was that the wide right? Which one? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Y'all know it's probably wide left and wide right both. You missed it. Yeah, didn't. Yeah, happen all the time. And Bama fans can't laugh too much either. But yeah, it goes to that. It's a snowball effect. So you missed that field goal 30 yards out, and then everybody's depending on you. Miss that second one, then you miss that third one. Now it's in your head, and you don't know how to shake off that first field goal, that second field goal, and now it's a snowball effect. Now your game is trash, and like with NFL, man, they'll cut you at that point. You start missing field goals. So I've never seen a sport like golf with the snowball effect happens, where you hit one bad shot, and if that bad shot's in your head, and you try to overcompensate for that first bad shot, you hit another bad shot. Then a third bad shot. Now you're chasing. Now your score is ballooning, and now you're just out of your game. So
I'm gonna put a link. I'm gonna put a link on the Twitter account. I used to have a blog. I tried. All right, but there's a story out there. There's a story out there where I had played in a tournament the day before. Now I'm playing in the golf league, and I go to warm up, go to the range, and I reach for my 8-iron, and it's not in the bag. And that might be the worst round of golf I've ever had. Every shot, every hole in the front nine, I needed that 8-iron at some point. Not every hole, but like 6 out of the 9 holes, I needed that 8-iron. So I'm gonna put that out there on the Twitter account, and just as an example of a snowball effect in golf and how you absolutely just want to quit.
Yeah.
And the name of the blog was 8.
Yeah.
Get it?
I got it because you didn't have your 8-iron.
Didn't have my 8-iron.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I shot 88 that day, which I know you would probably give your right arm to do. But
and by the way, that's the highest score he's ever mentioned to me ever, and I've known him for a while. That's the highest score he's ever.
I had an 88, and it was bouncing off everything, and I coded in my 8-iron. Have you read that yet?
I don't think I
emailed it to you.
I don't remember seeing
What's the deal with the millennials? You ask them to do something, and they're so self-absorbed. They can't focus.
You know what else millennials do? They make excuses, and you just made an excuse that you scored 88 because you didn't have your 8-iron. So you're not much better than any millennial that I talk to either. So you just mentioned 80, but I didn't have my 8-iron that day. So all right, Tiger Woods.
It was several years ago. Anyway, I'll put that on the Twitter account because it's a great story. And I got another one out there that life lessons. I don't know if we can add that to this or not, but anyway, life lessons. Be careful who you ride in a golf cart with. and be careful what type of jokes you try to tell right off
Yeah.
the bat. Can I tell that story real quick?
Yeah.
I got time.
Yeah.
So I'm riding with this dude, and you get in the cart sometimes, and this was golf league. But even if you're gonna go play and you're out as a single, and you're like, hey, you'll pair me up with anybody, I'll play with somebody, because that's another way to get better, by the way. Is play with people you don't know, because that helps with the nerves. It'll calm you. You know,
I'm not there
you
yet.
gotta control those
I'm
nerves
not
when you
there
play with
yet.
somebody you don't know, because you don't know what their game is.
Right.
So me and this guy get in the golf cart. First couple of holes, you're trying to ask questions. What do you do? What's your game like? Well, I'd already sized him up, right? And this sounds weird, but can I say that?
No, yeah,
I'm straight.
Yeah,
I'm straight. I'm straight. But the guy was wearing nice clothes, so he was a neat freak. He had the little club head covers on the irons, and he had the little brush.
Yeah.
His golf bag was perfect, and he was shirt tucked in the whole 9 yards. His outfit matched.
Yeah.
From shoes to hat. And those guys drive me nuts.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
So anyway, he ends up telling me that he's in the Navy. He was a mechanic for this Bull Shark Super Empower destroyer boat thing that was inflatable. So that was, he had me going like, this dude's cool until he hit the inflatable. I mean, I don't know. Just didn't, all of a sudden it went from cool to just, So anyway, but bottom line, dude's a Navy SEAL. So we get it into the round, about 9th or 10th hole, and he starts walking back to the cart with like a limp, and he's walking real funny, and I'm a fairly nice guy, so I was like, hey, are you all right? And he's like, he said, my Achilles tendons are acting up. He had bone spurs. It was bone spurs. Mm-hmm. And so then I get this list of things that's wrong with him, and he's like, I just need some water. I'll be fine. I've got some medication here in my golf bag. And I was like, all right, well, if you need to go back to the clubhouse, let me know. I said, I'll take you back. And so then he goes on to talk about, he gets his medicine, he's doing this, and then he mentions that sometimes, like that day, he could not feel his left leg from like the hip to the knee.
Yeah.
All right, I'm driving the golf cart, right? He's sitting beside me. He's just told me he can't feel his thigh. I'm a jokester, right?
Yeah. Inappropriate times. Yeah.
So I looked at him and I was like, so your leg's numb? And he said, yeah. And I was like, so you can't feel my leg on your thigh right now? And just so everybody knows, life lesson, do not joke with a Navy SEAL, okay? I thought I was going to die. He slapped his thigh so hard, like he just slapped it like he was trying to hit my hand off of him. Well, as I see his hand raise up, I knew it was coming, so I literally am hanging out of the golf cart and still driving. Why don't I just jump out? Anyway, I'm still hanging on to the steering wheel, and he's slapping the seat, and then he finally realizes and looks at his leg that my hand's not on his leg.
That's crazy.
And he's like, I can't repeat what he said because it might be some children listening, but he called me some names. And then I finally got my foot on the brake and stopped, and I'm falling out. I'm on the fairway laughing. That's hard because he's like, you call me all these things, and he finally goes, "You didn't touch my leg, did you?" I was like, "No, sir, I did not." And then I'm calling, "Sir,"
this
Navy SEAL's gonna kill me.
Right.
And he finally cracked up. But anyway, life lesson, guys: don't do stuff like that. It can hurt, or you can die from it. So golf is a dangerous sport. But and then my nerves were up the rest of the day because I kept waiting for him to get me back. But
what did you shoot that day?
I'll have to go back and look. That was the day, I think that was the same day that we had a guy tee off, hits it, and it was Timber Creek. And he hits a house.
Hit the house. You told
he
me
hits
about
a house. It's out of bounds, right?
Yeah.
And we hear it hit the house.
Was that the dog story? Yeah.
And then the other three of us, we hit the ball in the fairway. A dog comes out from the house and literally grabs our golf ball one at a time, takes it to his yard. Next guy hits, it's in the fairway. Dog runs out, gets it, takes it to his yard. Third shot, same thing. And so we go out to our golf balls, and I think we'd already started calling a clubhouse at that time because we didn't know what the rule was. And golf's got some crazy rules, by the way. And well, the dog, as we're driving up there, the dog comes running back out in the fairway and he drops the golf ball and he takes off running. We never see the dog again. Well, guess whose golf ball it was? It was in the fairway.
The one at the house.
That's right. You got it at the house. And so he's sitting there and he goes, "Play it like it lies." And I can't tell you what he called us. Kind of like Jerry does. Play it like it lies. And gave us the double birds.
He threw them too, to the birds.
Yeah, he threw the birds at us. So
was that the Navy SEAL? That wasn't
the
Navy SEAL.
I was like, "Dude, you can't do that. Your ball's out of bounds."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, play it like it lies, dude." I was like, well, we can't play ours like you saw our ball in the fairway. So all this argument ensues. And so we called the clubhouse, talked to the pro. I asked for the pro, told the guy on the phone what was going on. And the pro, he said, yeah, he said that's some weird rule, and I still don't know what the rule number is. But he told us to replace our golf balls as near to the point where we saw them last. And then the guy that had hit the house was legitimately out of bounds. There was 3 witnesses that saw it, heard it, knew it was gone. And just because the dog brought it back,
He could play it.
he couldn't play it like it lied.
I got you.
And that dude got mad.
Yeah.
He got real mad because it was a 2-stroke swing on the golf tournament, and he wouldn't talk to me for months after that. And
Man, golf has
I don't
some
have very
strange.
many friends, by the way.
Yeah,
I
because
just thought of another story that got
it goes
me in
into
trouble.
to the inappropriate jokes, and you throw them out there,
Yeah,
and
I do.
and see if they stick.
So
Yeah.
be careful about that. Why don't you wrap this one up, because they're going to think I'm a bad dude.
So yeah, that goes back to the nerves, and you know, we talked about etiquette before, and the golf rules. Man, there's just so many just quirky rules to the game itself, and you know, learning.
Let's talk about rules next episode.
Yeah, I think
Working
that
rules.
that
Is that where you're going with that?
I think rules would be a good thing. But yeah, so I mean, quirky rules, and handling the nerves and the etiquette and those things are just as important as actually learning the mechanics of the game. And again, because that almost ran me away. It wasn't necessarily the mechanics of the game. It was some of the rules and some of the etiquette and some of those things that you just have to get used to by being out there. So don't let 1 or 2 bad experiences run you away, because everyone's going to be different. But you know, it's one of those things. It comes with time, and you just got to be patient, just like with everything else when it comes to golf. Patience.
Patience is the key. It's one of the big keys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, again, we appreciate you listening. I want you to tell your buddies. Send in your ideas, what you want us to talk about, questions.
Yeah.
We are down south, Lower Alabama, and we can play golf year round. So
Yeah.
we're fortunate we get to play all the time. So if you guys are stuck somewhere, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, somewhere like that, and you can't play, and you just want to feed off of us from where we get to go out, because that's what we're going to talk about is when we come back from playing our round of golf, we're probably going to talk about it for a few minutes for sure. But Scratch and Waggle podcast, Twitter account at Scratch and Waggle.
Scratch and Waggle at
If
gmail.com.
you want us to shoot us an email and get a picture of this lovely chair I got,
Yeah.
I'll
We'll get
send it to you.
get some-
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time.